Welcome to the Anatomy of Crime ultimate destination for unraveling the mysteries of the dark side of human history. Here, we dive deep into chilling true crime stories, unsolved mysteries, and the psychology behind infamous criminals. If you're fascinated by crime and justice or enjoy exploring the unknown, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's uncover the truth, one case at a time.
The city of Chicago never sleeps. Beneath its glittering skyline, in its crowded bars and quiet apartments, secrets fester, love is found and lost, and sometimes passion turns to violence. In a world where connections are made with a single swipe, where desire and deception walk hand in hand, one love story would take a chilling turn, one that would leave blood on the floor and questions that would never be fully answered. Tasha Miller, a woman of power and prestige, had spent her life building an empire. At 42, she was a force to be reckoned with, an entrepreneur who commanded respect, but success had come at a cost, a lonely heart and restless nights. She was ready for love, real love. Enter Darnell Jacobs, a 27-year-old musician struggling to make his mark, charismatic, ambitious, and dangerous in ways he himself didn't fully understand. He saw Tasha as more than just a lover. He saw opportunity. Their connection was instant, intoxicating, the kind of love that feels like fate. But fate has a cruel sense of humor, and in the depths of their passion, something dark began to take root. What started as a whirlwind romance would unravel into a tale of betrayal, obsession, and an act so violent it would shake an entire community. When love turns to rage, when devotion turns to revenge, who is truly the victim, and who is the villain? This is their story. Tasha never thought she'd fall for a younger man, let alone someone she met online. She had spent years building her brand, a successful event planning company in Chicago. Love had always taken a back seat, but loneliness had a way of creeping in, especially during the late hours of the night. Darnell, on the other hand, had been struggling. His music career had stalled, and he was barely scraping by. He turned to online dating, hoping for companionship, maybe even financial support. When he matched with Tasha, he saw more than just a romantic opportunity. He saw a lifeline. From the moment they started talking, there was an instant connection. Tasha loved Darnell's raw passion for music. He loved her sophistication and stability. Their chats turned into late-night calls, and soon into real-life meetings. What started as a whirlwind romance would soon take a dark turn neither of them saw coming. Darnell quickly moved into Tasha's luxurious condo in downtown Chicago. She showered him with gifts, designer clothes, expensive dinners, and even helped fund his music career. But with each act of generosity, Darnell felt his pride slipping away. He wasn't just a struggling artist anymore. He was a kept man. He started lying. Small lies at first, nights out with friends that were really meetings with other women, promises to be working on his music when he was gambling away Tasha's money. Tasha, blinded by love, ignored the signs, but the cracks in their fairy tale were beginning to show. Then Tasha stumbled upon a message on Darnell's phone, a flirty text from another woman. Her heart sank, but she held back her anger. She needed to be sure. So she started investigating. What she found would ignite a firestorm of rage. Darnell wasn't just cheating, he was conning her, using her money to fund dates with multiple women, promising them love, the same way he had promised her. The final straw came when Tasha discovered he had taken thousands of dollars from her account, forging her signature to fund his lifestyle. She confronted him, her voice shaking with anger. But Darnell, instead of apologizing, turned the blame on her. "You don't own me, Tasha," he snapped. "You're just mad because you thought money could buy my love." Something inside Tasha broke that night. Love turned into fury, and fury had consequences. Nobody knows exactly how it started. Maybe it was a push, a slap, or a scream. But what followed was horror. Neighbors later reported hearing shouting, furniture crashing, then silence. When police arrived, they found Tasha standing in the middle of her living room, her expensive silk robe splattered with blood. Darnell's body lay motionless on the marble floor, stabbed multiple times. Tasha, once the picture of elegance, now looked like a woman unrecognizable, consumed by rage and regret. The crime scene was brutal, and the evidence overwhelming. Investigators combed through Tasha's phone records, uncovering weeks of suspicious activity, searches about betrayal, infidelity, and even legal consequences of crimes of passion. Tasha's arrest was swift. Friends and family were in shock. How could a woman so poised and successful fall into such chaos? The media feasted on the case, painting Tasha as a scorned lover who let jealousy spiral into bloodshed. Darnell's past, too, came under scrutiny. The women he had deceived came forward, sharing their own stories of manipulation. Some saw him as a predator, others saw him as a victim of his own recklessness. Courtroom drama ensued. Prosecutors painted Tasha as a cold-blooded killer, a woman who had everything but let rage consume her. The defense argued temporary insanity, fueled by years of emotional manipulation and deceit. Darnell's family filled the front rows of the courtroom, their faces heavy with grief. Tasha's once loyal friends watched from a distance, torn between sympathy and horror. After weeks of testimonies, the verdict was read: guilty of second-degree murder. Tasha adjusted to her new reality behind bars. The structured prison life was a stark contrast to the glamorous, high-powered world she once inhabited. She spent days reflecting on the choices that led her to this moment. The loneliness she once felt in her luxury condo had been replaced with an even deeper isolation. Meanwhile, journalists continued to cover her story, with television networks airing specials about the case. Public opinion remained divided. Some saw her as a victim of a manipulative lover, while others saw her as a woman who let her emotions drive her to commit a heinous crime. Darnell's mother never stopped grieving. She often spoke to the press, pleading for people to remember her son as more than just a con artist. "He was my baby," she would say, voice breaking. "He had his flaws, but he didn't deserve to die like that." Tasha's family, on the other hand, wrestled with their own emotions. Some supported her, believing she had been pushed to the edge. Others distanced themselves, ashamed of the media frenzy surrounding her name. Years passed. Tasha remained behind bars, her once beautiful face lined with sorrow. Darnell's music, ironically, gained posthumous fame, with some of his unreleased tracks surfacing online. His name lived on in whispers, in cautionary tales about the dangers of love, greed, and deception. Chicago, a city of endless stories, moved on. Another crime added to its long history. But in the echoes of that night, one truth remained. Love can build, but it can also destroy. Please subscribe for more.